Alright guys, so for this one I'm going to be installing finally my steering wheel setup. I have a eBay hub, my energy quick release, and I have my wheel in the back, tools right here, and food just ate. For this one it's going to be kind of cool. I already started working on this side. Kind of cool just due to the fact that I could sit down and everything is going to be from right here. I have my windows open and I kind of want to, well, it's kind of open and I kind of want to roll them up, but I can't because the battery is disconnected because I'm going to be removing the airbag. So, yeah, so that kind of sucks that, yeah, and I have no radio, nothing, no power. So, I have this T30 Torx bit, and yeah, that's for that screw right there. It's like just like a little safety thing. So thieves don't have that type of tool. They have common tools, and it just jams them up because these things were like high dollar thing back in the day. But nowadays you can buy an airbag for like $60 off of a Craigslist or OfferUp, eBay, wherever. So yeah, so I'm gonna be working in this order: taking off the airbag, taking off the wheel, then taking off this back cover. And I got to take this back cover off to take off the clock spring that actually rotates while it gives the airbag, the power and everything. So, yeah. Another day, I'm gonna be doing the horn. So I'm not gonna be doing that today. So I'm not gonna have a horn for about a few days until I gather up the little parts that I need. But it's okay as long as I have my wheel. So let me take off this airbag and get started. So I have it right there. This is gonna be probably the worst video ever. I mean, I never recorded something like this because I usually just do this off camera, but this is something that you must do to your car. There we go. That was on there. And these things have Loctite too, so if you try and stick a screwdriver in there, an Allen, a flat blade, anything, you're not gonna get it. Probably the only way you would have to take off that screw is if you damage everything right here, and it'll take you a few hours to get it out. And by then, the thief probably wouldn't even want it due to it being damaged. So this is just a little deterrent right here. Okay, got it off right there. And that's a T30. So got that out. Now I'm going to pull off that horn with the blue line, and disconnect the yellow connector. So let me get that right now. Alright, so I got this one disconnected. I believe that could be for the horn. And there's still that funky duct tape that Acura used. I don't know why they use duct tape. Very interesting. I mean, I've used duct tape for electrical, and I always thought that I was doing it wrong until like I'll switch out to good electrical tape, like the one with material in it. But an actual major manufacturer uses duct tape standard, so that's kind of cool and weird. Pull this out. Hopefully this doesn't blow. There we go. Because imagine taking that right there to the forehead. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Set the airbag away for the closet to never be seen again. And the next thing is going to be taking off the wheel. So let me get a socket for this. I probably need a breaker, and I'm going to lock the steering wheel and take that off. Here's this little bracket right here. I'm going to use this bracket, and I'm going to make my own other little bracket so I could have this with my quick release, because they sell a bracket for the S2000 Accords and RSX, TSX, stuff like that for the quick release. But I'm not going to spend $45 for a little piece of metal that's just folded and drilled. So I'm going to try and make my own. If I can't make my own, hell, I think I'm going to mount it right here. So yeah, so might not look clean, but yeah. Let me take this bolt off and get it all ready. All right, so I got it off. And surprisingly, I didn't need the breaker, and I don't even have a half-inch drive 14 on me, so I used a 3/8 drive with this swivel right here. So yeah, that got it right off. Okay, let me try and pull this because I'm gonna end up hurting myself with the phone in my hand. So yeah, that thing's actually on there. What the hell? All right, so with enough force, I got it off. You just need two hands right there. And the column is actually marked. You could see it right there. So let me disconnect the cruise control right here, put this through, and then the wheel's gonna slide right out. I could probably do it with the camera. Let's see. We've all taken enough of these connectors off by hand. Or with one hand, I meant to say. Perfect. All right, so this goes away for a very long time to never be seen again, because who actually puts their stock wheel back on? I also have some crud right here, some coffee stains or whatever. Not for me, but yeah. So next thing is going to be to clean all of this area and take off the steering column cover, and then that's where this is going to come off, the clock spring. Alright guys, so I'm just taking off these screws in the bottom. Okay, well, I'll get that one later. So I'm gonna take this off and then take off the actual covers. Alright, so just got this off, and it looks like somebody spilled something nice in there, so I'm definitely gonna take this to the water hose. And yeah, to get this out, it's kind of a little bit tricky because it has that little lip, and that lip goes right here and tucks under. So yeah, so you kind of have to lift it up, pull this out, and take it out that way. So because if you try and take it out this way like you normally would and drop it, it drops, but it just gets caught up in there. So yeah, so little bit of effort. So I'm gonna put this back down and disconnect the clock spring, the cable reel, and pull this out, get it ready for the hub. And then once I pull this out, I'm going to put this back on, and then I could just install everything with this on already. And then once I get the parts I need for the horn, I'm gonna mount it right here or right there, some little piece of metal just to contact the back of the hub. So yeah, so let me take the wheel off now. All right, so it actually looks like this connector right here goes back here down, and it's this connector right here. So I'm gonna take off this connector, pull it from here, and it's gonna be right there, and then I'm gonna unclip it. But I gotta see how to unclip it without breaking it. And there's cat hair. So all right guys, so what I did, there's a screw right back here. It clamps on to the column, comes right off. There's a clip right here on the bottom. I undid that clip and it only gets the bottom half. I checked the top, and I don't see anything right there, but it seems like it wants to slide. But, or wait, maybe this could be it right here. Yeah, and all this right here is just grease from that. And I found out on the bottom piece on that right there, it's actually not coffee, it's just melted grease. So let me take this off and I'll show you guys how I did it. Alright guys, so how I did it, I got the screwdriver, put it right under that clip where you can see those tracks, this track, and well, there's another piece right here that slides. Go like that and jam it in, and it just fell right off like that. So now this is the piece that we no longer need. And what's actually kind of cool about this is that you only have to splice into one wire for your horn to get it going. So now I'm gonna put this back. I'm gonna leave this loose. I'm gonna tighten up that screw to clamp it. That screw, that's the clamp, and that's the column, and that clamps onto there. But yeah, so definitely a pain in the ass compared to the Integra, the 3rd gen, and I'm pretty sure the 2nd gen Integra, the DA, is just even more simpler. But yeah, so because that doesn't even have SRS, it doesn't have especially the RS, my car doesn't even have cruise control. All it basically has is your wipers, signal, and a horn. That's it. And it doesn't have any mobilizer, it doesn't have anything. So let me align this up nicely and get this ready. Let me see, what is this? Do I need that? Yeah, that's probably to cancel the turn signal. So let me tighten this up and put these two halves together, and it's gonna be straightforward from there. Bottom half is on. Next I'm gonna get the upper half, and there's actually 3 fasteners, 2 in the front and 1 in the back, so don't forget that. Alright, so I got it on. I'm only gonna put the 2 front ones and not the back one, because that one's kind of a pain to take off because it's kind of deep in there, and it's like deep to go in, because I'm gonna take all this off in a few days when I get the horn sorted out. So yeah, now it's time for the hub. The column is marked. I guess it lost its mark already, but yeah, it's right there. And then this is marked to go up. Right there. That looks pretty good. A little bit greasy. Right, so I just locked the steering wheel and I just tightened it all the way. Give it a nice, good snug. Doesn't have to be killed, and it doesn't have to be lightly snug, just nicely snug. So now, since it's locked, the pin it's holding, so you got to use this and put some tension on it, turn the key just to get it off that pin. So let me do that now, and then I'm gonna put everything back level, quick release, and I'm gonna work on the wheel to assemble the wheel. Alright, so I ran into a little snag. That's up. That should be there, but I can't turn it this way, because if I turn it that way, I'm gonna end up turning the wheels, and then I'm gonna end up undoing the nut. So and I can't grip it. So yeah, so I'm just gonna put the quick release sideways and then put everything sideways, and then after I'm going to straighten up the wheel, obviously, when I drive. But I already know that that's up and that's correct. So if it's a little bit off, I could always just take off the quick release, redo it a little bit, and put it, you know, like how it's a spline, just put it over this way or this way, whichever. But it's going to be a little bit of trial and error. Now it's time for the thing, for the quick release. So I got this right here. Stickers, warranty, and I guess like all the compatible models and stuff. So let me put that over here. Pull this out, and yeah, there we go right there. So now that's gonna go right there. So yeah, so let me get this piece off, mount it to here. Alright, so the red wire is a hot wire. That's where the red wire is gonna go on this side. Once you connect this to this, it completes the circuit. How you get ground, you put this to there, and this one goes to here, and that's your constant ground, that's your hot. I don't have this connected to that plug back there, so there's no power to this, but I am gonna just connect everything up so it's ready to go, and then I could always just pull this off and connect it where it's getting power to that metallicness right there, and I'll have horn. But I'm gonna connect everything right now, so that's basically how it's gonna go. Just gotta connect this up. So everything just basically lines up right there. I already have that up, the arrow, and then you match it to that dot right there, and it goes right in place. So now I'm just gonna tuck these wires in and use the supplied hardware right there and get it going. I'm gonna use different hardware later on. I kind of like the black hardened steel, but yeah, it's gonna do for now. All right, so I have everything loose fitted right there. Gonna tighten everything down, and then I'm gonna get the wheel and finally be done with this, because I'm about done. All right guys, so I got it on there right now. I think I twisted it a little bit because it's a little bit off center, but I could always take it off and you know, recenter that main bolt. But it looks a little bit crooked this way. I got to put the wheel on and everything, so I have the other side right there. Gonna hook up the wheel and then my horn button, and everything's gonna be good. So this looks pretty good. Let's see. So yeah, so it has that stupid release button. I'm gonna take that off right now. Very dumb button right there. So let me get the wheel now. Alright, so let me get that now before it bugs the absolute crap out of me. Oops, and it just, everything flew out. Like a little grub screw, set screw. Alright, perfect. Now let me, alright, so right there, and that thing is on there. So now I'm gonna get the wheel, and now I don't have to push down that dumb little button to take off the wheel, because when you go to the store, you want to take off your wheel real quick. You got to go like this, fiddle with that, go like this, fiddle with that. And taking off your wheel would literally take 10 seconds. But if you take it off, it's instantly. So 10 seconds fiddling versus instant, just take it off. It's not going to fly off while driving anyways. So now it's time to put on the wheel. Button right there. Doing everything with one hand in a filthy interior with food and everything all over the place and tools. Alright, so got the wheel right there. I gotta take these off, these screws. How is this gonna go? So now let me take these off and then mount it up. So I was looking at this and it was showing how to register it, and to see if it's genuine I have to rub that off, put the code in the system at www.naughtypersonal.com/verifica, and yeah, it's gonna show up the model and everything, and there's gonna be a code in back of here it's saying. So I'll do that later. The wheel looks pretty good, so right there, so that center, it's gonna go in the center of those two. But yeah, so let me clean this up real quick because I don't want no dust in here, and then mount it. Alright guys, so there it is. The wheel is mounted. Everything looks good, pretty dang solid, feels very good. I like these little indentations right there, and the same right here. So when you're right there, the back of your hand actually grabs it too, so you have a sure grip of it. So it kind of lose grip of it, that'll hold you in. Yeah, overall nice. This is like, you know, the first thing you touch when you're in the car. This is the number one thing that keeps you in control while you're you know, up in the hills or doing anything with your car. This is what you grab onto, so it's good to have a nice solid wheel, you know. So let me get the horn, push it right in, and yeah, hopefully I don't need that ring because I have it, but I never needed it, but because I always had just a little block off plate, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, one thing I forgot before I tightened everything down is that ring, because that ring has to this has to ground to something. So yeah, because it's got to ground through the quick release, but yeah, I can do this at a later date. But, and if you guys want, I could get a little bit detail on it, but there's plenty of tutorials and stuff like that. So let me get this in there, and then it should be good. All right guys, so I have it in there. It's not all the way flush because I got to take it out anyways, but the button, super smooth, feels very good, and best of all, comes off nicely. Sounds really good, nice and solid. All right guys, so it's already a week later and pretty much like the wheel, feels very nice. I like these little indentions right there, like how you could you know, grip it right there. And yeah, it's a very sporty wheel, feels good, and the quick release, everything seems pretty solid. I mean, obviously NRG, you know, it's like it's a replica brand, but these quick releases feel very nice. Now one thing I did kind of notice is that with this material, with sweaty hands, it can kind of get a little bit slippery, you know, especially like since it's hot right now and everything. But yeah, I just got to keep the hands dry, and it feels pretty good. And even though it's like textured, you could still kind of lose your grip a little bit. But you know, these wheels are actually probably meant for you know, like especially how they're so thin, you know, for racing gloves and all that. And then like the bigger ones, bigger leather gloves, bigger leather wheels, I mean, are probably better for street use. But this is not too thin, not too thick, so seems like a all around, you know, good wheel. But yeah, so I kind of want to get a weighted shift knob. I'll probably look at getting a, you know, like a brass one. I kind of want something a little bit heavy, but yeah, everything is pretty good. And the only thing that doesn't work right now is horn. I still have to hook that up, which is kind of annoying. And my cruise control is gone, and I love the cruise control in this car. So cruise control is gone. They make a bracket for Accords, RSXs, and S2000s where you have to get a bracket that bolts behind here, and you could actually mount the panel right there, so you could cancel and start it and everything. And then also this hub that I got, it doesn't work with the clock spring. So basically that thing that, you know, spins inside there with the reel, it doesn't accommodate that. So I have to change the hub in order to fit over that clock spring thing, and then I'll be able to actually have it on there, and it'll actually connect right here, and I could take off the wheel, put it back on, and it'll all work. But what I'm actually thinking about doing is having that real clock spring under there and connecting it, and actually putting it right here using a bracket. So that'll be kind of cool. And you know, I could just always go down and under start it, and then, you know, take it off. But yeah, so I'm just gonna think about doing that, and I could still take off the wheel. The horn, I could just put that in a day, but I just need to find the wire and little you know, pieces that go right there. But yeah, so it's gonna be a little video. If you like this video, please subscribe and comment, and I really suggest getting a wheel. Upgrade your wheel.